It's your boy Coach Defense here. Thanking you for supporting the channel. Become a lockdown defender by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you're enjoying your time, hit that like button. Help us grow in the community. Now check out our latest video. Leave a comment. And as always, you got to step up to lock it down. Let's catch a flight out to the 213. Let's talk about Chargers news in training camp week 2. So the Chargers training camp is well underway. We're in week 2. Now, technically, it's week 3 for the rookies because they've been there. They were there a week before the veterans had a report. So now we're technically in the full, week 2. Everybody's in the house, no holdouts, all hands on deck.
Right.
All hands on deck. So I'm gonna break down my takeaways from week 2. And leading. We're almost at the point we're at week 3 now, because training camp started on a Tuesday. For like I said, week 3 for the rookies. So I'm gonna break down what I've seen, what I like, what I dislike, and then I think Coach Curry might have some questions and some feedback at the end that you might want to add on to add fuel to the fire, I guess you can say, when it comes down to what the Chargers are doing in training camp. But there's a lot of things going on in training camp that are question marks, positive, negative. So let's break it all down. So let's start off with how, with everybody being together. Let's start out with how the offense and defenses have looked. They interviewed Justin Herbert on, I believe, Saturday for doing their NFL roundup of training camps about how he feels about the offense. So the offense is been labeled by him, especially, as complicated, but it seems as if that nobody has a problem with how well he's picking it up. He's picking it up very well. Highly intelligent kid. And again, I talked about this before, and I say it again, that he's had, I want to say, 5 to 6 different OCs in the last, 5 to 7 years. So he's almost like every single year he changes between college and the pros. He changed offensive coordinator practically every damn year. So and for him to be able to pick up that system right away and be successful and be able to be productive in it should speak volumes how intelligent this kid is and how well he can play football, right? That's one thing. But I did, for the team, not just for him especially, but for the team, he said that the offense is complex, is very complicated to pick up, and he's been working with the guys on how they pick up signals, how they read things, and how to get in and out of the huddle, how to get in and out of plays. So that's a work in progress, which honestly ultimately should be, because it's new for everybody. It's not like just Herbert came in this year and the coach was already here. The coach is brand new, but a lot of players are brand new. So it's new for everybody. So it's some growing pains happening with that as them becoming fluid with the offensive passing game. I think the passing game is going to be a work in progress. But I have been hearing that the running game has been very solid, which, again, that's Greg Roman's bread and butter. That's his calling card. So I think the running game being good this early speaks volumes to who he is and what his identity is. So the running game has been looking good. The passing game is a work in progress. So that's that. From a personnel perspective, Lav McConkey has been showing out. Again, I alluded to him being Justin Herbert's one of his favorite targets last week, and it's been a consistent theme for the past week and a half. We talked about DJ Chark on social media and how he's been popping. And I alluded to this on Twitter, and I'll reiterate it here, is that I think that DJ Chark's problem has never been that he can play football. I think DJ Chark's issue has been health. He has bounced around. I think he's with Jacksonville. I think he's with the Lions, and then he comes back into the fold with the Chargers. So I do believe that if he can stay healthy, I think he can be productive for this team. It's just a question mark. And as he gets older, we all know this, that your body doesn't heal faster as you get older. So, if he can keep upright and stay healthy, I think that DJ Chark can be an asset to this offense. I mean, he has the speed to run past any corner in this league. He has the height and the awareness and the strength to be productive, really good hands. I do believe that if he can stay healthy, I think that he can be a good asset. It's just a question of if, because he hasn't been able to do it yet. Everywhere he's gone, he's been hurt in some facet. I mean, let's just be honest. So can he be durable? Is the question. And DZ had shared the same sentiment. He said Ladd's, small frame as a slot receiver, and DJ Chark's durability he's concerned with. I agree. I totally agree with that. I believe that their durability is the only question mark. I think their ability to play football is without question. It's just whether they can stay on the field. Now, I have less concern about Ladd's durability than I do DJ, because we've seen a large sample size of him being hurt. We haven't seen it from Ladd yet. So hopefully we don't. and he can be, he can learn to protect himself and stay out of harm's way. But yeah, DJ really only concerns me about his durability, not his ability to play football. Because when he's on the field, he's special. He just can't stay on it. That is the only question.
True.
So yeah, and Josh Palmer, I mean, I'm lukewarm on him. I'll be honest with you. I am, again, I'm not expecting too much. I mean, he's not overly fast. I mean, he's not overly tall. He's not a big leaper. He's just a guy. I mean, and he's a mid-round pick. I mean, we shouldn't, but based upon where he was drafted and what he's done so far in this league, I mean, he hasn't been good. He hasn't been bad. He's just been, solid in certain spots. But he's not a number one receiver, in my opinion. He's not. So we'll see how that goes. But let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Quentin Johnston. I talked about him last week. I talked about him on multiple occasions, and every time somebody asks me about my thoughts on him, I'm at the point where I think it's really psychological for him.
Okay.
And I really think that his problem is confidence in his ability to catch the football. And that's a big problem. That's a big red flag, because I'm sorry, at the pro level, sir, if your Achilles heel is catching the football, then
we got problems.
It's big problems. It's big problems in Houston. It's definitely a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
We got a problem.
Unintended. I think that him dropping routine passes, open passes, passes that really mean something. We literally watched him drop 2 different passes on 2 separate days that were in his hands, no defense, no combative, no defense from the defender, no ability to break the pass up, right in his hands, and he dropped it. He dropped it. So
yep.
And I've said that for people that were, I guess you can say, Quentin Johnston apologists, I'm gonna call him, that he's fine when it comes down to the underwear Olympics and when the pads aren't on. He seems like a competent receiver, right? And he has all the tools. He's 6'3". He runs a sub 4.40. He's really good after catch. But the problem is, you can't be a yak machine with no ability to have the C in yak. Yak means yards after catch. But if you can't catch the ball, your ability to be a yak machine is null and void. You can't never get to the ability to be a yak machine because you can't catch a damn football.
True.
So my problem is the fact that I don't care how many times you catch the ball on a jugs machine and how much work you put in, you got to get yourself mentally together and have the confidence to say that I'm going to catch the football. Because he reminds me of, if you know the movie Necessary Roughness, he reminds me of Featherstone. He's Featherstone. All the tools, Featherstone was Olympic hurdler. He ran Olympic hurdles in 10 seconds, and he was blazing fast, all big, big receiver.
Right.
I mean, he had all the tools. We couldn't catch the damn football. So until you get your mind wrapped around the idea that I'm going to be confident in my ability to catch the football, then you can't play football, or you can play receiver for this team. I'm sorry. I alluded to the idea that he's probably going to be 4 or 5 on the depth chart, and I don't think he's changed it. With his performances, they put the pads on Monday, and Monday and Tuesday he's been terrible. All to his purposes. So, and then DJ brought up Brendan Rice. Look for Cornelius Johnson, Brendan Rice, and one of those young guys, hungry guys, to take your spot, because I guarantee you they can catch the football. It's never
without a doubt
whether they can catch the football or not.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, the kid from Little Giants, they had to put stick him on his hand to catch the football. Him, he reminded me of him too. So, I have a lot of questions about what Quentin Johnson is going to mean, and to be in a first round pick again. I really just banged my head against the desk when Zay Flower, Jordan Addison, and quite a few others that got picked after Quentin Johnson in the first round were there, and they decided to pick him. Again, old regime, you got to live with it. But listen, if you can find somebody to take him, if he doesn't approve, just sell him off for a mid-round pick and cut your losses. Because it's no sense to having a first round pick and you feel the pressure of having to play him because he's the first round pick and he's going to let you down when it comes to when the money's on the line. If I can't trust you to catch the football, if I'm just a Herbert, I just won't want to throw the ball to you. That's just me.
Makes sense.
But overall, I mean, like I said, that's where the offense stands from that perspective. The defense, more of the same, a work in progress. Just mentor is system. Outside of Junior Colson, nobody knows it, obviously.
Right.
So that is a work in progress as well. Question about the D line and the up front, which I wish they would pull a trigger on trading for Jonathan Allen, because we need some
Right.
bodies. We need some bodies up front. But I mean, that's my wish list. But up front, the front interior is a work in progress. I'm hearing. So we got to work there on our interior pressure and our ability to be stout up front in the interior. I mean, Jerry Boston and Khalil Mack are going to be who they are. I'm not concerned about them. Bud Dupree and Tuli Palopu, backing them up. I think we had a nice rotation of edge rushers, so I'm not concerned there. Now the linebackers I really don't have a beat on, because Dayon's been out there, but Junior's has had appendicitis for the last week or two. So he had to be on the field. He just passed his physical today, so hopefully he can get on the field here soon. But he's had issue with appendicitis, so he hadn't even been on the field, and he's the most important piece because he knows the defense. He's going to be the center part, in my opinion. So he needs to be on the field. So I think once he gets on the field, I think he'll stabilize the defense, in my opinion. Derwin's look like Derwin. I haven't really got a beat on what Christian Fulton and the Saudi Samuels have looked like. I've heard some decent things about Jaseel Taylor and Cam Hart, the young guys that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. So so there's some positives. Derwin has looked like Derwin, and Alohi's look like Alohi. So the back end of the defense, safety wise, we're solid, but we got to fix the front end. Because again, if the safeties are your leading tacklers as a defense, you're not doing it right.
Something's highly wrong if that's the case.
Right. I'm gonna talk about Joe Alt in a minute, DZ. I have my concerns about that, but I mean, just going through the personnel notes that I saw as well. Over the weekend, Rashawn Slater got nicked up a little bit, so they held him out of practice over the weekend. But he did come back with padded practice. He did participate in one-on-ones and 11-on-11. They're kind of monitoring him, but he's not hurt to the point where he can't practice. I talked about Junior Colson having appendicitis, but he's back on the field. Hopefully he'll be back on the field soon. He just passed his physical today. Alomi Gilman missed practice for one day. He was his wife had a baby, so congrats to him. Jamari Salyer, prior to today, because he got rolled up on today. Hopefully he's okay, but he got rolled up on today and he got injured. But he was doing pretty well with his reps at tackle and at guard, so that's positive. Donna Parham, who was our tight end, 6'8" tight end, is off the injury report and he's playing. Hadn't heard anything positive or negative about him yet, but he's on the field. A nice note about Jordan McFadden, who is our backup interior lineman. They actually have him playing fullback in goal line in certain packages. So you're basically looking at a goal line package that will consist of double tight ends of Hayden Hurst. Oh man,
not double tight.
Double tight ends with two solid blocking tight ends with Hayden Hurst and the kid from Seattle. Why's his name escaping me? They're the two tight ends, a 300-pound fullback, a 230-pound running back, and Gus Edwards in front of that O-line. So what they're doing from a running game perspective, especially on the goal line, I'm loving. Jordan McFadden's catching passes, he's blocking, so they're utilizing the depth they have at O-line and kind of pseudo converting him to a goal line fullback, kind of a la what they used to do with the fridge back in the day. So that's a nice little fold that the OC is doing, that Greg Roman's doing. So that I'm curious to see how that's going to play out in game. But them handing him the football or him blocking should be an added bonus to getting us over the goal line and getting yards. So I like that. Now that leads me to Joe Alt. Now with Joe Alt being a right tackle, again, I voiced my concerns because he never played right tackle. Now, this could be, I'm going to be positive and start this by saying this could be an iron sharpens iron thing, but yesterday, meaning Monday, he looked good at right tackle. He had some decent reps against Joey Bosa, and he looked pretty solid. Now, but today was a different story. He went against Joey Bosa, and Joey Bosa got the best of him. He pancaked him, laid him flat on his back, and it wasn't pretty.
Flat on the Bizak.
And that's not even Joey Bosa's game. He's more a finesse rusher. But for him to power you, a 6'8" tackle, for him to power you to the ground it's not good. I mean, let's just be real. It's not good.
Now, mind you, Bosa's built like a tank now. He's built like a tank, but you're right.
Wrong like Khalil. I would expect Khalil to do that.
Yeah, Khalil is power.
His power, it's thunder and lightning. Joey's more finesse.
Yeah.
So, although he's about 200, 80, 290 pounds, he's not, he's not the biggest guy.
Yeah.
But again, Joe Alt is what? All of 330, 6'8"?
Definitely 6'8". Yeah. I think he's 330, 340 if I remember combine results.
Right. So again, that's definitely off-putting. So, but again,
Bosa flat backed off.
right. Exactly.
Right.
So again, I did listen to the GM Joe Ortiz on Rich Eisen show today, and he said that holistically, Joe Alt hasn't had the missteps or the growing pains at right tackle that they thought he might. So they think that he's going to work out there. So trust what the GM says, and said overall in OTAs and camp so far, he's looked pretty solid. Now he had a bad day today, but everybody has them. So maybe just an off day, and we're not gonna overreact to it. But again, with him being out of position, you always wonder whether that will be solid day in and day out.
Right.
That was my only concern in regards to that.
Okay.
But we talked about, like I said, we talked about Quentin Johnson, we talked about Lam McConkey and DJ Chark, how they were doing, and finally, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins is on a positive note. They're looking like two machines. Two machines. They did a drill I watched where they run through the bags, shoulder to shoulder, and then they go head up with a bag at the end of the drill. And when I say how far the bag moved when JK and Gus hit it, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. So they looking like they're going to be solid. Like the 1-2 punch with them two running the ball, I think we're going to be good there. I think we were good there. So I think that if the season started today, we would be heavily leaning on the run and try to figure out the passing aspect of our offense. But
gotcha.
We got time. We don't even play a preseason game for another week. So we'll see how things go, and I'll keep monitoring it. But that's my overall synopsis of what they're doing the Chargers camp. So what do you have from a feedback perspective or questions before we move
on? Great points. You broke down all the key positions. The only question I have is what's going to be the impact of Harbaugh to Herbert's growth and maturity. I think this will probably be the first time that he will be able to talk to someone that sees the game and the film the way he does. So what's going to be Harbaugh's impact?
I think it's nothing positive. I mean, to have a former quarterback and a very successful, highly successful head coach be your, air quote mentor. I think that's nothing but positive vibes. I think that I would love to have if he had Harbaugh from the gate. I really believe if he had Harbaugh from the gate, the time he was drafted, we'd be talking about Justin Herbert in a whole different light by now. I really do believe that. But I mean, you get, things happen when they happen. You things fall out the way they fall out. It happens in a way that way for a reason. I'm gonna lean on that. But I do believe that it's nothing but positive for Justin to have Jim Harbaugh as his head coach, pseudo, quarterback whisperer / mentor. Because again, every quarterback he's had, he's gotten the most out of. And I think that I could argue that from a talent level perspective, I think Justin Herbert might be the most talented quarterback he's had outside of maybe Andrew Luck. And he had Andrew Luck in college. He wasn't even the pro Andrew Luck. He was the college Andrew Luck. So I think pro quarterback is probably the most talented quarterback he's ever had. And I think that's what makes Jim Harbaugh get excited every day.
Okay, because he got a man crush.
He definitely does. And I think for good reason. So, yeah, we'll definitely see how things shake out, but I think there's nothing but positives when those two matched up together. And that goes back to my point about what I said about earlier. Get the quarterback right, get the coach right, and then you can build from there.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So we'll see how Chargers corner shake down. We'll break out week 3 next week, and we'll get into what we feel like the preseason game 1 is going to look like, because that'll be on deck for next week, because we'll be playing our first preseason game next Saturday. Hall of Fame games this week, and then next week's going to be the full slate of games for everybody that's playing preseason coming on week 1. So we'll get into that as well as more Chargers news next week.
There it is.
All right. So moving on. Here's a few shots of Chargers. The goings on that's been happening in camp so far. It's been net positive. That's shot down at the bottom right. I like of Deion and Junior. Those my dudes right there. I can't wait to see what they do together. I really can't. So we'll see how things go with that. But yeah, been positive, but they definitely got some building to do, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.